Just doesn't get better for the Edmonton Oilers following the loss against the Leafs, a 3-0 shutout against Montreal and friends. I mean, hey, you know what? The Oilers are 9-7-2 this season, and realistically, compared to last year at this point in November, that should feel really dang good, but it just simply doesn't. And I mean, a game against the Montreal Canadiens, for reasons known to some people, I take it a little bit more seriously. And tonight, the Oilers, they did anything but take the Montreal Canadiens seriously. They didn't even take themselves seriously. And it was a bitterly disappointing to watch, bitterly disappointing result. Overall, the Oilers just didn't ever even enter first gear tonight, I don't think. You know what? The worst part is you get actually a good goaltending performance tonight and you waste it, not even scoring a single goal and giving up an empty net goal with 3+ minutes to go in a game after you pulled a goalie with 5 minutes to go. I mean, it's just absolutely we should say absolutely, let's use that, tough game to watch start to finish tonight. I mean, I guess too, I'm going to use I mean a lot, but I guess the nice part is I missed most of the first period. I caught the last minute, so thankful for myself tonight that I didn't have to suffer through 60 minutes of torture. But the Oilers, friends, I mean, in this current form that they have going, are absolutely cooked. Yes, I know we're 9-7-2. We're in the thick of a wild card chase, and goodness sakes, does it look better than this time last year. But quite honestly, at least this time last year, the only place you had to go was up. This year, this team can't decide what they are, can't decide what they're going to give you per game, and can't decide if they actually care or not. And when I say the Oilers are cooked, if they just want to ho-hum it the rest of the season like they have this year, or even ho-hum it into December, every goal that this team set for itself before training camp got underway and they just chose not to take that seriously, is cooked, right? I mean, winning the division, out the window if you're still doing this by December. Obviously, being a President's Trophy type team, almost out of the picture now, given the way this team just, they're winning games. Don't get me wrong there. I know they're winning games. They've won 9 out of 18 this year. That's, by last year's standard, very impressive, right? You can't mistake that, but the matter in which they are losing games this year and the matter in which they are winning games this year, outside of a couple of exceptions each way, have not been overly anything to write home about. It's been pretty brutal start to finish this season through 18 games so far. And at some point, you got to expect the Oilers, do what they normally do, crank it up end of November, start of December, and start winning hockey games. Or, a couple of years ago, that big old New Year's Eve matchup where they just come alive or whatever the case might be. But, I mean, I am down bad. And, a matchup against the Montreal Canadiens in which the Oilers haven't had much luck in their past 8 games, I guess it is. 1 regulation win in their past 8 against Montreal, and a game that usually twists the knife a little bit more than others twists it a little bit here tonight. And I mean, like I said, I'm down bad to begin with, and the Oilers are about as down bad as I am after tonight's poor efforts. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Quite honestly, there's nothing that's going to make it better. Everyone's going to lay blame where they want, but I don't care who you're blaming for defensive misgaffes, blaming for not good enough goaltending, blaming for anything. If you score 0 goals in a hockey game, you might win once every 3 weeks in a shootout if you're lucky. And the Oilers aren't that lucky enough of a team to win every 3 weeks in a shootout 1-0. So, this is tough. I mean, and you know what? End of the day is it should be better. I mean, the Oilers are old. They're not as slow as people will say they are, but they're old. I'm not going to tell you that, but clearly, these are guys with veteran experience that should be capable of handling a little adversity and winning a hockey game the hard way. But instead, they're winning hockey games in the third period and then making itself hard on themselves, or they just don't even bother to show up whatsoever. So, I mean, cooked. Yeah, the effort level they have brought this year is cooked. They really do not care enough to change the dial themselves. And I think Jeff Jackson said all nice things during his interview today. I couldn't hear it because I was on stream, but yeah, I'm out of explanation here. Like, yeah, the Oilers have 9 wins. I get that, and I know I'm gonna eat that for the Oilers are above 500. What do you mean? Um, I don't care. I don't care if you're gonna lose games this bad to this opponent, who's 6-10-1 now after winning. That ain't going to do it for me. I'm sorry. You talk about winning the division. You talk about going back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Games like this are not on the schedule at all in a season like that. Not after the joke that was the start last year. And, again, I understand Amazon Prime's got this big involvement with the NHL now and all the money to them, right? All great for them. But, I mean, there is no other excuse for this terrible start from the Oilers in terms of effort level, in terms of give a dang, in terms of commitment to winning games the right way, game in, game out. There is no excuse for this other than unless by some way the NHL is running an Amazon script and Amazon wrote down in the notes, Oilers start same way as last year, marginally better, but not much. And we just write the story from there. Again, and that's conspiracy theory nut stuff that I'm throwing out there just because it's the only thing that explains what has been an absolutely disappointing, disheartening, disengaged start from the Edmonton Oilers starting back in the preseason. And you know what? I mean, maybe fool me once, shame on me, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me for believing the Oilers talking a good game going into this preseason. But I mean, you gotta figure a team that's led by the best player of this generation and the best overseas player we've seen from Germany, you gotta believe that they would actually care to follow up on their word. But it just year in, year out, this Oilers team talks good and tough coming into the preseason, the results or whatever, and then October through December doesn't matter, but it's just tough hockey. And again, I've said it this year a couple of times, and I said it a couple of times last year. If they're not going to bother to show up game in, game out, why am I? Right? Like I said, things just updated. 9-8-2. We're now actually a game below 500, technically win-loss. I know points-wise doesn't matter. We split the difference, but that's pretty brutal. 9-8-1. Sorry. Apologies to those of you watching the video. You saw that. You can click back. You saw that change updated live on Sportsnet there. But I'm sorry. This 9 wins means nothing to me. The fact that the Winnipeg Jets can do the exact same thing we did this summer, which is talk a tough game all summer. I know they didn't change a thing and we changed everything, but the Winnipeg Jets core has been known for underachieving, whereas the Oilers core has been known for overachieving, and it's all the periphery players that have sucked. Well, I'm sorry. Excuses are thin here at best after years of this same old script. And I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it, and I knew exactly what this game was going to do to me tonight, and it just sucks. It just really, really sucks when you get the exact result you were expecting on exact time, right on cue. I mean, tough. This is a game I used to have circled on my calendar. And now it's a game I like avoiding the best of because it's just, like I said, twisting that knife a little bit more. And you find yourself in a situation I find myself in right now, and it's like, whew, that's just something you don't need at this point. And you hope the Oilers would have showed up and done something more for you, but no way, not a chance. So, friends, 3-0 loss against the Montreal Canadiens, in which I've probably wrote more home about this game than any other sports columnist is going to be able to from an Oilers perspective. And I've been pretty vague about why. So anyone that figures that one out, figure it out. But hey, have a great night. Go get them tomorrow, maybe. And we'll talk to you sometime late Tuesday following the Senators game, as I've got some activities to go follow up on at the Pete Knight Memorial Arena in Crossfield as we continue to get closer and closer to hopefully live streaming out of there November 30th for a pretty good special event. So looking forward to catching you then for sure. But for right now, I'm out of here.